Do you have any things you'd really love parents to think about?
Just do it. Just do it. You'll actually find the more that you do it, the easier it becomes. It's not as scary as you think.
Hello and welcome to Demystifying Child's Play. I'm Ruth Furco, and today I'm joined with Heather Kalisch, who is the owner and founder of Bake With Me and the Baking Club Online. She's a fellow Kiwi living in sunny Tauranga with her husband and 2 children, and I'm excited to get chatting with her today about her top 5 because, as you may have guessed from the title of this podcast, she is passionate about getting kids in the kitchen, baking and making memories together as a family. You'll see through and through in our episode that she truly believes that baking with kids is more than just mixing ingredients. It's about creating lasting memories, teaching life skills, and enjoying those sweet moments together. And I could not agree more. So let's get comfortable, whether you're out on a walk, catching a rare moment of quiet, or multitasking around the house. Let's dive in and explore making memories in the kitchen with our toddlers. So welcome, Heather.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Awesome. I can't wait to get into your top 5. Just before we go any further, if anyone's thinking, oh my goodness, there's 5 points, I'm not going to be able to remember them all, don't worry. I'm going to have everything on the show notes on the blog. So that's playschemas.com/blog. That's playschemas.com/blog. All our notes from today will be on there, and also how to find Heather as well. So don't feel like you need to retain everything and be worried about it going. So Heather, let's get straight into it. What is your first of your top 5 tips?
The first of my top 5 tips for baking with kids is making sure that you are ready. Get yourself prepared. I know there are so many things that kind of come into your mind when you think about baking with kids, and you can really make things easier for yourself by being prepared. So finding a recipe that's really simple. Don't try and do anything fancy, just really simple, and creating a space which is going to be super fun for your kids and super organized. Even though I know that it doesn't always happen. It doesn't always happen in my house. But if you can just do something like clearing the bench off, getting the ingredients out, it really gives you a good foundation for success, especially when you're in the kitchen with little people, toddlers. They will try and touch everything and grab everything, which we love. But if you can help yourself, take away some of that anxiety that people have sometimes, get yourself prepared.
I think that's a fantastic first tip. And I think about baking with my boys myself. I call my boys butter mice because if I leave butter on the table, there are teeth marks out of it. They just love eating the butter straight from the block. And we all know how expensive butter is at the moment. And so that's one thing I need to make sure I'm prepared with things out, because as soon as I turn my back, they're both munching on the butter. So being prepared is a wonderful top tip. So what would your second one be?
My children love eating the butter too, and it's gross. But yes, all right. For number 2 is one of the hindrances that people can have when they are baking with kids is about the food safety aspect of it. And it's quite funny that we were just mentioning and talking about, eating butter, and, there's raw eggs involved sometimes, and there's all these things that can be a hindrance for parents wanting to bake with their kids. And my biggest tip for you in terms of this is make it fun. So be a food safety superhero in your kitchen. Always supervise your kids, obviously, but things like washing hands, getting an apron on, and really just having those conversations while you're baking or while you're making something is super, super important. So yeah, definitely being a food safety superhero with your kids is really important. Don't shy away from it because you're worried. The risk of bacteria and infection while you're baking in your home kitchen is actually quite low. And most people don't realize that. They can get a bit scared about it. But actually, if we've done our first step, which is getting prepared and sorting everything out first, you can actually just go ahead and do it without that worry. So yeah, so being a food safety superhero, making sure that you can involve with the children with cutting and measuring and all of those amazing things for their learning. And yeah, you don't need to worry about it, but just be aware, I guess is what I'm saying. Yeah.
I think about being a food safety superhero, and I can just see if I say it to my boys, they'll be like, where's our masks? So maybe I need to make some superhero baking masks that they can wear. I also think about when I was a teenager, I was doing some baking and I had some biscuits all nicely rolled out, ready to go on the tray. Some friends came round And one of my friends is like, "Oh, can I have one?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah, definitely." Then I go to put them in the oven. I'm like, "There's a biscuit gone." And she's like, "You said I could have one." I was like, "They're not cooked." And she's like, "I asked for the cookie dough." And it's like, oh. I grew up that I was baking with my grandma, and my grandma was a no licking of anything, not the
Oh,
beaters, not the foot, the bowls all got washed. Where that friend and my husband as well grew up licking everything. And so for me, it's this kind of mid game of allowing my boys to lick some things and also being like, "Oh, we can't do that." So I think thinking about food safety is a really good second point, but also really good to know that in our home kitchen, it's very low chance of having anything go wrong with food safety. And it is just about general knowledge and general precautions,
yeah,
which is great.
definitely.
So, number one, being prepared so we don't have butter mice. Number two is making food safety fun with some super safety. So, what would number three be?
So, number three is definitely related to the importance of letting your kids. So, number three is really important and it's about progress and not perfection. Baking with kids is so important for so many things in terms of their play and learning, it's early literacy skills and math skills, it's problem solving, it's science, all these amazing things that children are learning while they are baking with you and while they are baking, learning to bake by themselves. And so it's really important not to get hung up over what the end result is going to be. So it's about having fun and making progress over perfection. So it's teaching those things along the way that we've talked about. And, sometimes you just have to let it go. Like you just have to let kind of any sort of preconceived notions of ideas of this Pinterest perfect bake that you are going to do with your children, let it go and just let them take the lead.
I hope everyone with me was also singing Let It Go in their head every time you said Let It Go. I 100% agree there with my teacher hat on, predominantly teaching 5-year-olds. Quite often parents would say, "Oh, my child, haven't given any maths homework. Can you tell us what to do with maths?" I said, let them help with dinner, let them bake, let them use things in the kitchen. Because all that language, if you're talking with your child, as you said, literacy, maths skills, problem solving, there is so much there. And I love the idea that what if kids are there to make you slow down, not speed up? So
Mm.
if you are doing baking, it's ensuring that you're not got 5 minutes before you need to get out the door and there's baking you want to take to your friend's house. That's the baking you would do on your own or you'd do at night when they're not around. When you're baking with kids, it's relaxing into it. It's enjoying the process, not the perfection. It's the progress they're making and the learning. And the more you do it, the better they'll get, the more they'll be able to actually understand what a cup size is. And then you've got to flatten the top. You're not going to have this massive mound. So give your kids that chance, lean into it, and just enjoy the experience. So that's a really good first one. So we've got be prepared, make the food safety fun. It's all about progress and not perfection. So what would number four be?
So, number four is around the mess that children make. We love allowing children to make mess. It's such an important part of their development. But man, when it's in your kitchen, it's hard, right? And so this kind of flows on from the last one, which is about, remembering about the progress, not the perfection. But there are some things that you can do with your kids when they're baking to avoid this kind of messiness and this craziness, that some people feel when they're baking. And so, number four is just reminding your children that cleaning up the mess is part of baking. So, it is a team activity, it's part of baking. And one of the things I encourage when I am baking with a group, whether it's children or adults, is let's just get that out of the way before we try our baking. So, when things are in the oven, when we're waiting for things to cool down out of the oven, that is the perfect opportunity to clean up. And it's not just mum cleaning up or dad, it is the children that are cleaning up as well. So just a reminder to all of the parents who feel stressed because they think of the mess. Okay, give yourself some slack. You don't have to clean it up. Get the children to help you with the cleaning up as well. So, and especially when there's a reward, an incentive, like getting to eat some yummy baking, then it is so much easier for them to want to clean up when that is like a rule, okay, we're going to clean up and then we get to eat our baking.
For me, that's a great reward as well, is having a clean kitchen, some fresh baking, maybe a glass of milk. It just sounds like a dream.
Yeah.
And I think that's so key as well, is actually just thinking about if you're involving your kids, from the moment they can stand up at the bench, they're learning along the way. And so by the time they are 6 and 7 and 8, they'll actually know how to clean and they won't just be smearing all the flour and the milk over the table again. And then quite likely the cleaning up will look like that at the start, but that's okay. They're doing it to their abilities, their skills, and they're watching what you do. So when you're modeling, maybe wiping something off the bench into your hand, they'll learn, oh, I wipe it off the bench into my hand. I don't wipe it all onto the floor and then have to tidy up the floor. So it's those slow steps along the way that they're learning, they're teaching, they're seeing how you do things. And as I said before, it will probably take longer. I won't even say might, like definitely take longer to begin with. But the older they get, the more exposure they get to it, the better they'll be. I've definitely noticed when we've had friends' kids around and we've decided to do some baking, my boys who bake relatively often are a lot more able to clean, they're a lot more able to measure, they're a lot more able to know the process than our friends' kids who are really excited and really into it, but they've just not had that exposure, so they don't really know what to do. So the more you do it, it will be hard, but it'll get easier as you go. And what I'll be doing actually as a follow up podcast to this is next week we'll have all about the play schemas and I'll go through the top 10 play schemas and how you can engage your children in the different play schemas in baking. So make sure if you're thinking, oh, my child's really into trajectory, which is throwing, there's no way I'm doing baking, how we can link this into baking. Okay, so we've got be prepared. We've got make food safety fun. We've got progress and not perfection. We've got the teen activity of cleaning up, because if we clean up, we get some yummy baking at the end. So what would your number 5 be?
So number 5 is just have fun. Cut yourself some slack. As you've already mentioned, make it an activity that they are doing. Don't do it when you're about to rush out the door. Make it a really fun, enjoyable, memorable experience. I don't know about you, but some of my earliest memories are baking in the kitchen with my dad. He was the chef in our house. He did all the cooking. And so spending that special time with him in the kitchen is absolutely just priceless. And so we just kind of get swept away in the busyness and you think, oh, this is too hard. But actually, those are the things that your kids will remember. I still remember that chocolate cake recipe that didn't quite go so well, but dad was there to fix it. It's just having fun. It's enjoying the process, being with your children. It's just all those things that the kids love, really. And the thing I love about baking and baking with my kids is it's like magic. Something goes into the oven as a wet mess and comes out as cake or cupcakes or cookies that you can eat. It's just magical. And if you pause and just really focus on having fun and enjoying those magical memories with your kids is lovely.
And as you're saying that there, that's a transformation play schema in action when you go from one thing to the other, which is what I love about play schemas is no matter what you're doing, if you know what your kids are into, it's just universal across everything. And as I said at the start, which is what Heather was saying, is that baking with kids is more than just mixing ingredients. It's about those lasting memories. And that is so key. And that's about the slowing down and enjoying it. We don't want to create lasting memories where baking is just stressful and mum or dad is just really uptight and they're really worried about getting mess on the fingers and the hair of the table. Relaxing into it, leaning into it, enjoying the moment and thinking this is about creating memories. It's not about perfection. It's about working together as a team and enjoying this family time, which is so special and so wonderful. And baking can be done with mum, with dad, with auntie, with grandma, just ensuring that everyone has that same, let's not stress, let's go into it and enjoy it. So if you've got someone else who you think, you know what, my child's going to grandma's this weekend and she hasn't tried to do baking with them yet because she's a little bit worried, send them this podcast episode, let them relax, let them get some of these top 5 tips and they'll be able to enjoy it with them. So those are some wonderful top 5s. Do you have any closing things you'd really love parents to think about?
Just do it. Just do it. You'll actually find the more that you do it, the easier it becomes. It's not as scary as you think. Yeah, I just love seeing the progress from finding it hard to measure, but to being confident in. I love seeing that with kids. So, yeah.
That's so good. Just do it. So if you would like some help getting yourself started baking, or if you want to find Heather, where would we find you? What would we do?
Great question. So I am online. I am on Facebook and Instagram at bakewithme.co.nz. You have to put the co.nz on there. So at bakewithme.co.nz. And my website is www.bakewithme.co.nz. I have a Facebook group where we have fun kitchen challenges. It is Baking with Kids Made Fun. And we do giveaways and prizes and really trying to encourage kids in the kitchen. And I have a baking club, which is super fun. It is more aimed at older children, but if you're struggling with anything and to do with baking and kids, I can definitely help you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I've absolutely loved chatting with you today. We had a great chat before we went on live and a great chat now. So remember, everyone, today is a great day to play and it's a great day to do baking. So if you do any baking today, make sure you let us know. We'd love to see what happens. And if it was a complete fail, we would love to see that too, because it's all about doing it together. There's no prize for the winner. Well, maybe some nice baking. But you know what? You'll be fine. So let us know how you've gone. Have a great day and we'll see you next time.